TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Another big day in the political spotlight for North Dakota as Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump made a stop in Bismarck. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. There were thousands of people. One estimate had the number near 10,000 inside the Bismarck Events Center.
Trump was invited to speak at the Williston Basin Petroleum Conference, which opened the event up to Trump supporters, and they heard a lot. Trump talked specifically about how he differs from President Obama and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on energy issues. And for North Dakota, two big issues are fracking and the Keystone Pipeline.
I'm going to ask TransCanada to renew its permit application for the Keystone Pipeline. By the way, I might also be asking for a big piece of the profits from that so that the American people can get some more money out of it. Does that make sense? Why not?
Trump also talked energy at a press conference prior to his speech. U.S. Representative Kevin Cramer joined Trump. Cramer has been asked to advise Trump on energy issues.
Today's stop in Bismarck was quiet compared to others around the country where large crowds of protesters have gathered. Outside the event center in Bismarck, just a small number of anti-Trumpsters showed up. As supporters made their way in, the peaceful protesters remained on the other side of a divided street.
I'm out here protesting the rally because I'm a proud North Dakotan, I'm a proud American, and Donald Trump is a disgrace to America because he's racist, misogynistic, and his message of hate does not correlate with American values.
Earlier in the day, NBC News confirmed that Trump today hit the 1,237 delegates required to clinch his party's nomination after pledges from unbound delegates from Colorado, Pennsylvania, and North Dakota.
The rain stayed away today, and we saw some sunshine. Let's head over to Hutch Johnson to see what tonight will look like. Hutch?
Well, for the early evening hours, Andrea, it does look like we can get out and play a little bit. Dry conditions, we saw the sky clear, and temperatures warm nicely in the late afternoon into the mid and upper 70s in the south. A line of thunderstorms developing in central North Dakota is surging toward the Devil's Lake Basin. They do have some lightning, and the potential is there for some small hail, around 1/2 inch or less. These are moving to the northeast at about 25 miles per hour, and in an hour or so will be pushing into Ramsey and Benson counties. The rain last night and into the morning today traveled from south of Jamestown near Ellendale through the FM area and into Lakes Country, dumping about 0.6 inches in our rain gauge here at the studios. Temperatures in the 70s the next couple of hours. There will be a little bit of a breeze out from the northeast, and we'll cool into the 60s later this evening. It will be cooler up north. Expect 60s all evening long in Grand Forks. More rain in the forecast. All the details on that coming up in a moment.
All right, thank you, Hutch. And you can stay up to date on the weather conditions where you are anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just download the Storm Team weather app to get the latest weather conditions and even follow the radar live. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store.
New information now on a person of interest in a Fargo murder. He will stay in jail for another couple of months following a court appearance today. Landon Lawagi is in Sibley Jail on a probation violation. Today in district court, he admitted to violating his probation. He's expected to serve 90 days in jail, 10 of which he had already been served. Fargo police say that Lawagi is a person of interest in the murder of Corey Terlecki, who was found dead in her home earlier this month. Terlecki's cause of death has been ruled homicidal violence. Fargo police say that Lawagi got a lawyer and they haven't been able to speak with him about the death yet. Police add that they believe the investigation will take quite a bit of time. A Fargo woman is in jail after what police say was a shooting outside Holly Elementary School. Holly police say that 34-year-old Leslie McCroskey is believed to have shot out a car window of a school custodian's vehicle in an attempt to steal it last night. The custodian found the suspect sitting in his vehicle and called police. Officers say that they found a handgun and ammunition in McCroskey's vehicle nearby. There were also items recovered that related to an incident earlier in the day at a Moorhead rest stop.
It was a terrible crime that remains a blight on Valley history. The 1882 lynching of an African-American man in Grand Forks. Charles Thurber was hung from a Grand Forks railroad bridge by a lynch mob. He was accused of raping 2 white women. However, one of those women may have later recanted her story. For years, East Grand Forks veteran Richard Rybacki has been pressuring the city to put up some type of memorial.
Why keep bringing this up? Why do you want to memorialize such a ugly part of Grand Forks history?
Because it is history. And history, everybody should have the right to know what happened.
It appears Rybacki may get his wish. Pete Haga with Grand Forks Community Relations says they're working on plans to put up some type of plaque recognizing the incident.
Legislative leaders in Minnesota are out touring the state, talking about the need to finish up and pass the bonding bill. Legislators from the House and Senate are touring together, stopping at project sites that they deem to be the most important, one of which is the overpass in South Moorhead. City officials and emergency responders were also on hand to reiterate why funding this project is so urgent. Members of the State House and Senate say they aren't blaming one another for the bonding bill not getting passed and agree that confusion and misunderstanding are why it couldn't get done during the regular session. Now, they add that the rail safety upgrades in Moorhead are top priority. The project had $34.5 million of the bonding bill before getting stalled on Sunday.
With school coming to an end around the valley, so are the careers of many teachers and staff who are retiring.
Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker takes us to Kindred at the elementary school, where today they sent off one of their most beloved teachers with a surprise that he didn't see coming.
Educating is, I guess, to me, secondary. I'm just trying to prepare them for life.
For 41 years, that's been Kermit Johnson's, better known as Mr. J's, teaching philosophy in the classroom.
Hopefully I've left or instilled in them that they can do anything they want to do. You know, they just have to go out and reach for the stars.
Along with teaching, Mr. J was a coach and now he's a bus driver, which means he's come in contact with many students over the years.
I have had a lot of parents that have stuck in the area that, you know, you get to see them as they've grown and become adults, and then you get to see their kids come up and be part of their lives too.
Mr. J doesn't measure how well he's done his job by test scores, but rather something else.
If you can't make them smile a little bit, then I haven't done my job.
So how exactly does he make his students smile?
He has amazing stories. He's just funny and he cares about the kids a lot, and his stories are hilarious. His stories and all of his exaggeration. His funniness and how he's always telling stories. His jokes and his stories. He's very nice to us and he's very funny.
Good luck to your retirement, and hopefully you could come and visit us.
41 years later, the bumps are done coming, and it's just time to move on.
In Kindred, Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Super story. The school's principal tells us that Mr. J did not want to make a big deal about his retirement, but the teachers and staff decided he didn't have a say in the matter. We have more video of his send-off. It can be found on our website at Valley News Live Facebook page.
Do you like the sound of jazz music, and do you like to dance? Well, you might want to give swing dancing a try. It's a dance style that was popular during the 1920s and 30s, and now people in the Valley continue to practice the art of swing. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop has more about this swing dance community.
Swing dancing is sort of this low to the floor kind of street dance, and it's just kind of upbeat, exciting.
Jordan Reagan, along with 30 to 40 people, come to downtown Fargo and swing dance regularly.
Dancing is definitely my happiest place in life.
The FM swing dance community has been around for about 15 years, but recently, groups like Lindy of the North and FM Swing Dance are trying to get more people interested in the style.
It hasn't been a huge thing. It's kind of been this little tiny subculture that people from all over the place go to, but we're trying to build it into something really big.
It's so much fun to kind of get a dance that's actually a 100% American dance. I mean, this is created by Americans.
Reagan and Larson both say swing dancing gives them a workout in addition to meeting other people. The style is also big in Minneapolis, along with other cities across the United States.
It's like, how do I meet new people? And swing dancing is great. You're switching partners during the lesson and you're asking new people to dance.
I think that everybody should try this at some point in their life. It's so much fun.
Larson says another fun aspect of swing dancing is dressing in the swing era clothing.
Come together not only over the dancing, but the styles too. And it's so much fun to see everybody dressed up.
In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
FM Swing Dancing partners up with the nonprofit Great Plains Dance to host swing events. There are classes offered on Sundays, but tonight there's a special event. It starts at 7 p.m. with a live jazz band at Etche Art Gallery on Broadway. The cost is $5 for students and $8 for adults. You can learn more at valleynewslive.com.
Looks like fun.
It does.
I can't do it, though.
No, me either.
Sometimes you just can't make it to the zoo, right? Well, later on Valley News Live at 6, where some of the Red River Zoo animals visited today.
Temperatures this afternoon kissed 80 degrees near the Wahpeton-Breckenridge area, while we were stuck in the 60s in the Devil's Lake Basin. It was a gray day to start, but the clouds cleared out. A pretty quiet evening ahead. Rain in the forecast. I'll tell you all about it right after this.